standing up to say enough is enough. It is time we look for lasting solution. I want everybody to listen briefly to this history.
Coup in West Africa was carried out in Togo on January 13, 1963. It marked the beginning of unnecessary military interventions in the region. Exactly 3 years later, on January 15, 1966, Nigeria would experience its own first military coup just 5 years and 3 months after independence and less than 3 years after becoming a republic. However, analyzing Nigeria's first coup is very challenging, that one has to go back to the political situation in the First Republic to understand the reasons for the coup. In this insight,
to understand the reason for the coup, to understand the reason for what is going on in Nigeria today, you can't just wake up tomorrow or just wake up from your bed and start shouting Simon Ekpa is causing trouble in the southeast. Simon Ekpa is causing trouble in Biafra. Simon Ekpa is the problem of Nigeria. Because you don't know your history. I want you to listen attentively. Where your problem is coming from, that Simon Ekpa remain the good guy who want to solve this problem once and for all.
Side story of Nigeria's first military coup, we shall take a look at how the coup happened. Who led the coup? Was it an Igbo coup? And of course, the aftermath of Nigeria's first military coup of January 15th, 1966. A few years after the British had taken over the territory that later came to be referred to as Nigeria, Lord Frederick, the then governor of the Northern Nigeria Protectorate, the and northern provinces, thereby creating the colony and protectorate of Nigeria on January 1st, 1914. The British had only one thing in mind while carrying out the amalgamation.
The British had only one thing in mind while carrying out this particular amalgamation of 1914, that we have written to the world, we have written to United Nations, we have written to United States, we have written to European Union, and we are going to write to United Kingdom, including to King Charles, that is being coronated tomorrow. They had only one thing in mind. That thing they had in mind did not change to today. Now, listen to what they had in mind.
For economic reasons and administrative convenience.
For economic reason and administrative convenience. How have that benefited you today as an indigenous person in Nigeria? Nothing. It is only destruction, only calamity, only anarchy, only genocide is what it has brought to the table. Nothing else. The struggle for Nigeria is struggle for economic gain by the British. And today, the new generation of Biafra has risen up and say, enough is enough. We are pulling out of this evil entity that never favored our people, that the original purpose and agenda was not for the benefit of our people. And before we continue, we just noticed that we are still streaming live on Twitter. So we urge you, those of you watching on Twitter, to join us on Enter Biafra. If you are watching on Twitter, join us on Enter Biafra. Thank you very much. We want to take call as well. All right, those of you watching on Twitter, we're going to cut you off. Always remember to join us on Enter Biafra. Thank you. All right. So I want you to pay attention very, very attentively.
Thus, making the union a sham, so to speak. With the foundation.
Making the union a sham. What it means is that the 1914 union was a sham. Now, you are going to see what sham has done to the people of indigenous people in Nigeria. I want you to listen to the sham. What sham does to people.
Foundation laid, Nigeria continued to grow and develop with agitations by Nigerian nationalists
Nigeria continued to grow in agitation by Nigerian nationalists. We are not Nigerians. We are growing in agitation. The agitation continued today. It did not stop. It did not start from Simon Ekpa.
For an independent state. In response to the growth of Nigerian nationalism and demands for independence, successive constitutions legislated by the British government moved Nigeria towards self-government on a representative and increasingly federal basis. In 1954, the colony became the Autonomous Federation of Nigeria. By the middle of the 20th century, the great wave of independence was sweeping across Africa. Thus, 46 years after the amalgamation, Nigeria became an independent on October 1st, 1960. When Nigeria gained its independence in 1960, the whole country was agog with celebration. Little did it know that 6 years down the line, a bloody coup would take place, followed by a counter coup and even a civil war that would claim the lives of thousands of people. The British Empire had earlier claimed rulership over Nigeria, forming the Southern and Northern Nigeria Protectorates. This was cemented by the amalgamation of the two protectorates in 1914 by Lord Frederick Lugard. The British Empire would go on to rule Nigeria for almost 60 years before the motion for independence would be initiated. In 1958, the British had agreed to yield to the demands of independence. After being under British rule since 1862, Nigeria gained its independence almost 100 years later in 1960. Those who played a key role in achieving this great feat included Benjamin Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ahmadu Bello, Obafemi Awolowo, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, amongst others. In 1963, Nigeria became a federal republic with Nnamdi Azikiwe becoming its first president. As of 1963, Nigeria was a diverse country with so many ethnic groups. It was not a surprise that at some point, certain groups began to feel proper representation in the corridors of power.
They cried out for proper representation in the corridors of power. Today, the situation have changed completely. They use terrorism to change it. They use aggression to change it.
With its high population mass and larger geographical allocation compared to other regions in Nigeria, the North seemed to have dominated the government from the very beginning, having won 134 out of 312 seats in the first parliament under the Northern People's Congress (NPC). The Igbo-dominated National Council of Nigerian Citizens (NCNC) party had followed behind, garnering 89 seats in the parliament, while the Action Group AG, which represented mostly the Yoruba people, got only 73 seats.
I want you to understand the division, the ethnic differences, the diversity from the beginning. It did not start from Simon Ekpa in 2023. This is the history of 1966.
Within the period, agitations began to arise about the unequal distribution of power across the Federation, backed up by allegations of corruption, anarchy, and rigged elections.
Agitation began to arise because of the imbalance, inequality, rigging, corruption, fraud, and everything. It didn't start from Simon Ekpa. It did not start from Peter Obi. It did not start in 2023. But today, the anarchy that was witnessed as far back as 1960, they are telling you Simon Ekpa is responsible for all the problem of Nigeria, including the scarcity of Naira note. Simon Ekpa is responsible. They accuse Emefiele for working for indigenous people of Biafra, for working with Simon Ekpa to hijack the central bank of Nigeria and turn it into IPOB property. Emefiele was under investigation by DSS just before the election. They accuse him of being an IPOB member agitating for Biafra within the government. Because of the momentum that these movements have garnered, like never before. Every accusation is Simon Ekpa. When somebody have miscarriage, they say Simon Ekpa agitation gave the woman miscarriage. When somebody could not impregnate his wife or the wife, the person will come back to social media and announce it on Vanguard News. Simon Ekpa agitation did not allow me to sleep with my wife, and for that reason, I could not impregnate her. Everything becomes Simon Ekpa. People wake up and they start to give bounty on my head. $50 million, $50,000, kill him. $100,000, kill him. All in the name of fighting somebody who have researched the history of Nigeria, who know the truth, and have solution for the betterment of the people of Biafra. I become a target to many of them. But in all this, I remain the good guy, because at the end of the day, only the truth will stand the test of time. Ask them, are they aware of the history that they are listening to this evening? Is it a lie?
The 1964 elections came up just after the leader of the Western region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, was tried and imprisoned for treasonable felony, conspiracy, and possession of firearms.
Awolowo was tried and imprisoned for treasonable felony. Awolowo that they are worshipping today in Yoruba land. Awolowo that is the founder of Nigeria. Awolowo Ejiamat. All this Awolowo you hear was sentenced and imprisoned for treasonable felony after he was caught with firearms and all that. What was he doing with firearms? Preparing himself for election assault. Now, or election anarchy, election violence. It didn't start today. What was Awolowo doing when he was arrested and imprisoned, tried and imprisoned? They sentenced him, Akoryanga. What was he doing? He was trying to probably protect the interest of Yoruba people. He went to the extreme. I want everybody to listen to this. When they come in 2023, they are, everything is on the head of Simon Ekpa. As if there was never anything like 1966. As if there were not 1954, the pogrom where the Igbo people were slaughtered in the north. As if Ndi Igbo and the Biafra people have been treated like other Nigerians. As if there were no problem before 1999. Everybody is now talking, of course, not everybody. The idiotic one Nigerian is, Simon Ekpa is the problem. Simon Ekpa is the problem. I want you people to understand that if you continue to follow them, if you continue to attack Simon Ekpa, thinking it's your problem, you are only helping them. If you continue to claim you are for Biafra, but Simon Ekpa is an agent of Nigeria, you are only helping them to destroy Biafra. But you cannot destroy Biafra because we have actually defeated all of you. But I want those who are still hanging on the face, looking for what to hold their hand on. Are you aware of this history? Those who say, sit at home is evil. Sit at home. You are destroying our... No! We have actually found the solution to our problem. Nigeria is not a country you are going to fight with coming to street to demonstrate. They're going to kill everybody. So we have now find a means to fight Nigeria internally. And I don't have no steady. I don't have no internally. I don't have no externally. I don't have no in diaspora. That's what we are doing. It is called multi-faced war. Multi-faced war. Multi-faced war. Multi-dimensional approach is what we are using to dismantle Nigeria. And it's going to end this year. Somebody say, look at the date. I don't know why you are after date. This broadcast is being streamed on the channel that was created 2 days ago. And because we did not come live, not 2 days ago, yesterday, but because we did not come live yesterday, so it is showing on this particular link. So watch it. Forget the date. I am live. All right. So let us continue.
To the disappointment of many Westerners, Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola won the October 1965 Western regional elections amidst political violence and rigging. Chief Akintola was considered to be a puppet and a willing tool in the hands of the Northerners.
Chief Akintola, as far back as 1966, was considered to be a puppet of the Northerners. So you see, being puppet of the Northerners, being stooge of the Northerners did not start from Simon Ekpa. Neither did it start from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They have started saying it as far back as 1966, my people. Since 1966, a Yoruba politician called Akintola was regarded as a modern puppet, that he is a stooge of the Fulanese. Then it was Northerners. Now it is more defined to be Fulani. So tell me, where did this so problem? Is it Simon Ekpa that started saying that Akintola was a puppet of Northern Nigeria? Is it Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that started to say that Akintola is the puppet of Northern Nigeria? Well, Biafra, the one who invented this particular saying that somebody is a puppet of Fulani or puppet of Northern Nigeria? No. But before this particular event, where Akintola was regarded as the puppet of Northern Nigeria, you know that a lot has gone wrong from 1914 to that 1960, something, after 50 years. I want you to listen.
This ushered in the beginning of violence and misgivings in the political system as the results were said to have been vigorously rigged.
Look at the head. Look at the head of the people. Look at the head of the people, of the British people that came to do the deed in Nigeria. Look at the head. Look at the head of the man. If you look at this head of this man, you will know that no onyoshi kobo. Ezboto onyoshi. If you look at this man, he can marry on your child ezoshi kobo. Eh? Look at the head. If you see the crooked one, you know. These are the people that came to Nigeria. And remember what they said. They said election violence started. Election violence in Nigeria did not start today. It has nothing to do with Simon Ekpa. It has nothing to do with Biafra. It has to do with the faulty foundation, slavery foundation laid on Nigeria, as they called it, 1914 amalgamation. As a result of a very rotten, faulty foundation that led to the hostility, crisis, killings from time immemorial. It has not changed a bit. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in Nigeria. And it is getting worse and worse every day. And we are just rising up now, the new generation, to say we must put an end to it this time around. And it will happen this year.
Chief Akintola was from the Nigerian National Democratic Party, NNDP, which many considered to be in close relations with the MPC, and this insinuated that the Northerners were now in charge of the Western region. Refusing to accept this electoral verdict.
Did you hear that? They said that the person who won the election was seen as somebody who Northerners cannot control. And that becomes a problem. That Northerners could not control him, and it becomes a problem. And that is where the crisis started, because Northerner did not, the person that is very loyal to Northerners did not succeed, and there the problem started. Let us listen.
Many of the political thugs in the Western region resorted to violence in varying degrees, including arson, protest, and murder.
Many of the Westerners, many thugs in Westerners, they started destroying and killing people. Exactly what they did in Lagos after the 2023 general election. It happened in 1960s. My people, 1960s repeating and worse than 1960s in 2023. How many years? How many years after? In 1960 something, after the election, the same Lagos state, they started killing people. They started burning properties. They started destroying properties of certain group. It did not end there. In 2023, the same thing that happened in 1960 something repeated itself. There is no hope that there is going to be change in Nigeria. Today, the situation is worse. I want all of you to listen.
The situation came to be known as Operation Weti. The political situation in the West has been described to be one of the triggers for Nigeria's first military coup, which was led by Majors Emmanuel Arinze Ifeajuna in the south and Patrick Chukwuma Kaduna Nziogu in the north.
Now, that particular killings and destruction of properties that you saw in 2023 was exactly what they did in 1966, leading to Igbo high-rank officers to rise up against it. Today, if I happen to be in Nigerian military, believe me, if I happen to be in the Nigerian military and the properties of Igbo is being destroyed in Lagos, properties of their market is being destroyed in Lagos, and they are being attacked and killed in Lagos, and this agitation is going on, I would have done the worst coup. I am telling you the fact. If I happen to be in the Nigerian army today, I would have done the worst coup ever. I am telling you the fact. I will do it. Exactly the same thing. The only difference is that I am not in the Nigerian army today. I am doing it from diaspora. And I'm going to do it better than those who did it in the 60s. They have laid the foundation. Now listen.
By August 1965, the plan for the coup was formed and the recruitment of officers who shared the plotters' ideology commenced. Now, let us take a look at the main players of the January coup. Although there had been rumors of a coup in the wake of the mayhem ongoing in the Western region, nothing significant in 1966. Those who actively carried out Nigeria's first military coup include Emmanuel Ifeajuna, Kaduna Nziogu, Adewale Ademoyega, Timothy Onwatuegu, Chris Anuforo.
Now, you listen to the name called Emmanuel Ifeajuna. Emmanuel Ifeajuna, this was the person who betrayed Ojukwu in the war. After he knew that Nigeria was not working, he was part of planning a coup to overthrow the government. Later, he became the Ifeajuna of today that you see. He became the betrayer of the freedom of Biafra. He wanted to fight against the impunity, but wanted to stay within the corrupt and the evil entity, and fought against Biafra. He sabotaged everything Ojukwu did, and that is why he became Ifeajuna. I want everybody to pay attention to this history. Very important.
On Okafor, Humphrey Chukwuka, Emmanuel Nwobosi, Ganiyu Adeleke, John Atom Pera, Fola Oyewole, and Ben Bullier. One persistent myth is that Nigeria's first military coup was led by 5 Igbo majors. The "we were 5 in number" comment by Kaduna Nziogu, made in an interview in May 1967 after the coup, is the source of this myth. The Five Majors myth was later perpetuated by Captain Ben Buli's book on the coup, Nigeria's Five Majors, which he admittedly based on a BBC play of the same name. Nziogu's infamous "We were five in number" remark made no mention of the rank of the five. He was simply referring to the coup's five designated strategic regional commanders. In fact, 9 majors were originally scheduled to take part in the coup. Majors Nziogu, Ifeajuna, Ademoyega, Okafor, Anufolo, Chukwuka, Obienu, Onwatuegu, and Chude Soki. Shortly before the coup in January, Chude Soki was posted abroad. Obienu failed to show up on the day of the coup, leaving 7 majors as participants. When it came to the coup's execution, the majors designated 5 officers as regional commanders. There were Nziogu and Onwatuegu in the north, and 3 more in the south, which made up Nziogu's "We were five" comment. In the south, the head of the Lagos operations was Major Emmanuel Ifeajuna. That makes 3 majors so far. Assassinated Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola in Ibadan was led by Captain Emmanuel Nwobosi. That brings us to 4, 3 majors and 1 captain. There was no coup in the Midwest because no military formation was stationed there. Lieutenant Jerome Oguchi, however, was dispatched to the east to arrest the premier of the eastern region, Michael Okpara. The identity of the 5th member is the most difficult to determine. Majors Don Okafor and Adewale Ademoyega were given a lot of responsibility for the Lagos branch of the coup, and one of these 2 men was most likely the 5th commander, or it could have been Oguchi himself.
Now, we will stop this particular history from here, and we'll go to the next segment connecting this particular history today. Having listened to the brief history of crisis, electoral violence, killings, murders of Igbo people and Biafra, the injustices being meted by Nigeria state, controlled by the Fulani British and all that, led to the first coup of 1966, which they tagged Igbo coup, which was a lie. Today, we have come again. I am just making references to how history has repeated itself. You have seen the end and the outcome of the so-called 2023 general election, which witnessed the killings and burning of properties of Ndi Igbo. Now they have metamorphosed to demolishing the houses of Ndi Igbo in Lagos. It's exactly what happened in 1966, leading to the coup. Today, we are not talking about the coup. We are talking about exiting Nigeria. And we see that many Biafrans, are being pushed to go and start fighting our Eastern Security Network and Biafra Liberation Army in the East and in the South. And we are making a call today. We have posted it on social media, on Twitter today. Now from today, the 4th day of May 2023, we are recalling all indigenous people of Biafra, all blood-carrying Biafra in Nigeria Army being posted to the eastern part and the south part of Biafra to resign. If you are a Biafran and you have been posted to Biafra land, resign. If you are a policeman and you are serving Nigeria police in Biafra land, resign. You have from now till the 29th of May 2023 to resign and throw your uniform inside the toilet or inside dustbin and burn it. I am very, very serious. Biafra people are liberating themselves, and any visibility of Nigeria in Biafra land, those who have come to kill us, the occupiers of our land, those who have enforced disappearance of Biafrans, those who have been burning our communities, killing our women and our children, those who have come to help the Janjaweed, the Islamic State of West Africa, to kidnap and kill people in our land, wearing Nigeria Army uniform, Nigeria Police uniform, the Civil Defense, DSS, and name it. You have from the 4th of May to the 29th of May 2023 to resign if you are posted to Biafra land. Don't take this particular announcement as a joke. If you are a Biafran and the blood of a Biafran is running in you and they post you to Biafra land, resign. Resign. If you do not join the Biafra liberation to liberate for the freedom of our people, you may not be around to tell the story. Because everybody that is coming to Biafra land, being posted to Biafra land, is not, you are not being posted to come and confront, to come and start fighting crimes. No. They are not posting you to Biafra land to come and start arresting cyber criminals. No. Your purpose of coming is to come and kill our people, to come and start enforcing the disappearance of our people in order to protect your one Nigeria. So we have been giving this particular announcement before, but you know, things have changed. It is not like you before. A lot have changed. We have upgraded the game to the highest level. The game of the liberation of Biafra has been upgraded to the highest level. So we are calling on all Biafrans that are serving in Nigeria Army and you are being posted to Biafra land to resign. I am telling you the fact. Don't allow them to use you to start enforcing disappearance of Biafra people within your own territory. You will not be there to tell the story at the end of the day. Biafra land will swallow you. If after 29th of May 2023 and you are still wearing Nigeria Army or police uniform in Biafra land to kill our people, believe me, the land of Biafra will swallow you. From 29th of May, the land of Biafra will eat you and swallow you up. Having listened to the video I played and shared this evening, we are going to the next issues and topic, which is we are sending a message to King Charles III that will be coronated tomorrow. We are going to write him officially. After this broadcast, we are going to write him officially. Other nations have written to him. Other people within the Commonwealth nation have written to him. Now, the Biafra Republic government in Israel is going to also write to him officially. I want you people to listen to what is happening because some of you don't actually know what is going on. So let us take you to a journey of what actually that is going on today. Apologize, compensate us for colonization. Indigenous leaders urge King Charles III. And we are telling him that we are not interested in the apology. We are not interested in his compensation. All we are interested is the freedom of Biafra. If that is going to be his apology, we will write him officially. Leaders of the indigenous people of the Commonwealth on Thursday signed a letter urging King Charles III of the United Kingdom to apologize for the horrific impact of colonization. Part of the horrific impact of colonization is the video I'm just playing to you now, is what is happening in Nigeria. The horrific is not ended yet, and people are demanding apology. How can you be demanding apology of a crime that is still happening? How can you be demanding an apology of a crime that is being committed when you have solved the problem and then you begin to live with the wound? Not while you are inside the ocean, somebody pushed you and the ocean is drowning you, shark is already coming and opening their mouths to swallow you, and you are inside the ocean shouting, apologize for pushing me inside the ocean. Apologize for, instead of the person to shout for rescue me. After rescuing the person, you will now start demanding for apology. That is when you have survived. When you have survived, you will now begin to demand apology. How can you be demanding apology when the problem is eating you up and killing you every day? How can you be demanding an apology when there is no peace in Nigeria? How can you be demanding an apology when ordinary election cannot be conducted without people being killed in Nigeria? So the Biafra people, the Biafra Republic government in exile, we are going to write our own letter. It's going to be very different. Different is that we are not begging for any apology. We are not interested in compensation. We are not interested in anything because the problem have not ended. So we are demanding King Charles III to begin to use his influence and look into Biafra referendum as the only way for peaceful exit of Nigeria. So we don't repeat the Rwanda case. And if it happens that Rwanda repeats in Nigeria, don't blame Simon Ekpa. Don't blame Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Don't blame anybody. Blame the government of Britain. Blame European Union. Blame America. Blame United Kingdom. Blame UN. Blame every organization and country that has influence. They could not use their influence. Because when they think that we are going to give up our freedom for Taliban to take over, and then you come and start giving up asylum, you are joking. You are joking. We want this particular information to go viral. If you do not support the referendum of Biafra, you are supporting the repeat of Rwanda, and we are not going to be held responsible for it. The opportunity to solve this problem is here and right now in your table. Because if you think that you can overlook it and allow Nigeria government to kill us and so that we are going to keep quiet, you don't know what is coming. Just watch and see. So I'm going to address him this week. Tomorrow is the coronation. Many people are going. They also urged the king to launch a compensation mechanism for the indigenous people of the Commonwealth. We are not interested in compensation. The letter titled Apology, Reparation, and Repatriation of Artifact and the Remains was issued a few days before the monarch's coronation, scheduled for the 6th May, and brought together indigenous letters of 12 Commonwealth countries. The countries include Antigua, Barbuda, New Zealand, Australia, the Bahamas, Belize, Canada, Grenada, Jamaica, Papua Guinea, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and Grenadines. You can imagine, not even a stupid Nigeria is there. Not even the worst of them all is there. Nigeria is not there. They are pampering the United Kingdom. They are licking their boots and their asses. Nobody summoned courage to even say, let me append my signature in the letter, in the so-called letter. Everything in Africa, they are just monkeys. Monkeys. Look at it. Nobody from Africa is here. All of them are in America. None of them from Africa summon courage to be part of Commonwealth that will sign this particular petition or letter for apology. No. Tomorrow now, you will hear that Antigua has been gotten this from King Charles. You will be asking, what about Nigeria? Because you don't have leaders. What you have are foolish people, foolish non-entities that are only interested in how to make money from politics. That's all. It's their business. Their business is politics. Look at it. We, the undersigned, call on the British monarch, King Charles III, on the date of his coronation, being the 6th of May, to acknowledge the horrific impact and the legacy of genocide and colonization of the indigenous and enslaved people in this letter read. Where have British committed the worst genocide in the history? Is it not in Nigeria? I am asking you. Where have the British committed the worst colonization fraud? Is it not in Nigeria? The amalgamation document. Amalgamation of 1914 become the highest fraud committed in human history. The genocide against Biafra become the world worst genocide after the Holocaust. Is it not true? Now tell me, what genocide did the British commit in those countries that signed this thing? The people where this genocide was committed, they did not sign it. They were not part of it. That's why the Biafra Republic government in exile is taking that step. You know, our own is that we will come and talk, you will see it. We will go, we will talk, and you will see it. We are not the ones that will go to underground and start digging ground and they'll never come out. They will dig ground, they will be digging ground for more than 3 years. You never see them. So we'll go ground and dig one day, we'll come out the next day with result. You see, so look at it. How many people, how many countries you see them listed here that Britain committed the genocide they committed in Biafra land? Yet, the people that have been, have been subjected to this manner of war crime and genocide and crime against humanity, their name did not show in the letter. Because they don't communicate with anybody. They don't communicate with outside the world. Look at the countries that are writing this thing. If you see the names, you hear the names of the country, it makes sense. St. Kitts, Antigua, Barbados, Papua Guinea. This kind of countries with a better names and they have a good economy. These are the people that their brain are functioning and their brain are working. The Zulu, the Biafra people, their names are not there because all the Ike Kweremadu representing you is in prison 10 years for crime in the United Kingdom. Is it the person that will come and think and start thinking about you? No. Is it Umahi that has now used his brother to put as a deputy governor, and we are hearing that the governor of Ebonyi State have died, has passed on, and they want to replace him with Umahi's brother. Umahi put his brother as the deputy governor so that the day of the inauguration, they will come and announce the death of the governor. And then Umahi will make the brother become the governor of Ebonyi State. That is rumors. We have not confirmed it. But we say, if it is true, they should come and announce the death of the governor-elect. If it is not true, let the governor come to public and address the Ebonyi people or address the people that elected him. He has not done that since after the election. Or after the selection. After they selected him, he has not come publicly to address anybody. And people are saying that he has died. So now, how do you reconcile this? The people from the Biafra region that are saying that they are politicians, they have nothing to offer. Look at the people who should be the number one in the list of Commonwealth countries, writing and demanding apology from the United Kingdom. They did not sign it. They were not part of it. They were not part of it. And they can never be part of it. Because these people are backward. Backward. The nomadic lifestyle have overtaken them. They no longer think like human beings. They think like Fulanis in the forest. Now, we are going to read to the end. The signed parties called for formal apology as well as for a process of repatriate justice, among other things, asking for the immediate start of the conversation on the enduring impact of slavery. Immediately commit to starting discussion about reparation of the oppression of our people, the plundering of our resources, denigration of our culture, and redistribute the wealth that underpin the grown or the underpin the crown back to the people from whom it was stolen, the later rich. I want you to understand that this particular letter now is going to be the thing that will break the camel's back, because the world is waking up, and that's why Biafra is now, have garnered the highest momentum in the history of agitation. Believe me, all this country you see writing this, appending their signature, demanding for this particular thing, have come to understand what the British have done. But what will surprise you is the people that become the worst victim, their names and their signatures are not there. So when they hear that Biafra have risen up from Nigeria to fight for their freedom against the British enslavement, they will have no other option than to support Biafra. If they are truly asking for apology from the United Kingdom, if they are truly have come to realize that King Charles must apologize, and they are demanding the return of all the artifacts, demanding compensation for everything they have done, it means that they have no other option than to support Biafra, who have now decided that it is time, that enough is enough, that our freedom must come. Otherwise, they are hypocrites. I am telling you the fact. If all the countries that I have mentioned here did not support Biafra, they are the biggest hypocrites. Because you cannot be writing this and then you don't support Biafra. Am I making sense? But we are getting there. Let us continue. The letter also demanded the return of all cultural treasures and artifacts to the countries of their origin, as well as the repatriation of all remains currently held in the UK museums and institutions, while also urging the UK royal family to adopt the renunciation of the doctrine of discovery, following in Pope Francis' footsteps. The doctrine used to serve as a justification of the right of colonial powers to newly discovered territory, and was denounced by the Pontiff on March 30 in a statement condemning acts of violence and social injustice during colonial times. Buckingham Palace and the UK government have not reacted to the letter so far. Okay? So you see, we are getting there, and the doors are opening, because you cannot be writing this letter and then you are going to hear from Biafra government, Republic government, and then you keep quiet. It is not, I don't think nobody can do that. So if you don't react to it positively, it means that you are the highest hypocrite. We are going to stop here and take calls from what you have listened to today, and tomorrow we hope to come on time so we can have a proper exposition and analysis. We don't want our broadcast to be lasting more than 1 hour, 30 minutes. So for that reason, we're going to stop here, and I believe that you have learned one or two things. When they tell you Samanepa is the problem, refer them back to history, because these people are idiots. They don't know history. They claim to be Nigerians, they know nothing. We are fighting, and we'll make sure that today will mark the beginning of a new dawn, where we have given ultimatum to those serving in Nigeria military and Nigeria police, especially the Biafra people that are being posted to Biafra land, to pull on their uniform and resign. From now to the 29th of May, 2023. I want you all to understand that our sit at home starts on the 8th of May to 11th of May. The sit at home is very, very important. Do not fall the victim of Nigeria, where they are going to kill you because you come out, they will say Samanepa is enforcing it. Do not come out. We have gone this particular route before, and don't go it again. We know that whenever this sit at home is called, the hostility will increase and rise in Biafra. We are demanding that every Biafra must sit at home to demand the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the 11th. We have done it last year. we are doing it again. And like I said, after this one, he was not released, or he is not released by the 20th of June this year. If he is not released on the 11th, and then by the 20th of this month, of June 2023, we are going to go on 2-week holiday, on 2-week, sit at home, civil disobedience. And it is going to be a systematic sit at home. We are going to come with strategies how it is going to work, because we are not going to have a complete 2 weeks sit at home. We will design it in a way that it is going to allow people to also go out there to get food for themselves, in some time interval. So we are going to come with a well-designed approach how this sit at home, 2 weeks sit at home will be conducted. In addition to that, we will be tightening the knot in another place, because we cannot just do sit at home alone. No, the 2 weeks sit at home is going to come with Iwe and Onoma. As we are sitting at home, we'll be tightening the knot of economy of Nigeria somewhere. We make sure that we grind it to ground zero. You cannot be collecting oil from our land and use it to buy weapons to come and kill us. It is not possible. We have allowed that to happen for a very long time. Today, we will face you where you are getting the oil from our land to sponsor the killing of our people, our women and children. So we are not going to we are making it, our own is that we are not terrorist organization, we are liberation fighters, we are freedom fighters, and we are telling you where we are going to fight you. Where you come to kill us, we will defend ourselves there. And where you are getting the money from our land to buy weapons and ammunition to kill our people, we are going to stop you from there. And that's where we are going. We are very, very clear. Tompolo must stay very clear. He has collected money to that pipeline. He must stay very clear from anything in the Biafra land and the Biafra territory. He must stay cross in the name of fighting for Nigeria. He will regret it. I am telling you the fact. So this message goes to our brother Tompolo. Mind your lane, so you don't, regret or say, had I know. This is no longer child play. What we are doing is no longer. Don't look us the eye of the Biafra children before. Things have changed. The game have changed. Do not look us with the eye of ESN. Game have changed. Maintain your lane. Do not cross. The coastal guard of Biafra is in charge of our coastal region. The coastal guard of Biafra is in charge of the coastal region. And they are equal to the tax. Let nobody underrate what this particular coastal guard can do. So we are giving Nigeria government between now to 11 to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And then also, if he is not released, we are going to give them till the 20th of June. The reason for 20th of June is to allow our children to go to school and write their WAEC examination. I've made that explanation before. The WAEC examination ends on the 20th of June 2023. Immediately after that, we will come with a new strategy if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released. Now we are going to start taking your course. Remember, on the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, is sit at home in Biafra land. Everybody must make sure that this particular announcement goes to all market leaders in Biafra land. All market leaders in Biafra land, it is time to say enough is enough. The way you are being killed in Lagos, I don't think you like it. Nigeria government should know that, yes, there are some people fighting for you somewhere. And when we call upon you, all you need to do is to follow instruction. Okay? All right. Let's and our Our calling time will be probably like 10-15 minutes.